Oh, suburbia. Leafy and lovely. Safe little nests of families with tire swings and friendly neighbours with cups of sugar. Yeah, right. Suburbia is a battleground of angry traffic, parking space stealing rival parents, and impossible missions to be 3 places at once and not leave a single child behind. This is the front line where weary troops sleep and then wake to fight again. The family car is a personnel carrier. It's a lunchbox on wheels, a bedroom, an office, a school bus, a removal van. And this is the new Mazda CX-9. Well, it's not any new Mazda CX-9, it's the Touring specification. It sits in the middle of the CX-9 range. It's the one that you'll buy. Well, not you, but it's the one that 40% of you will buy. And it's the all-wheel drive. So is it everything the suburban warrior needs? And how does it cope with real life out there? The getting kids in and out test, the you stole my parking spot test, the Boomgate ticket arm test, the giant man in the back test. And what doesn't it have that I really wish it did? The CX-9 is the king of Mazda's SUVs. This second generation CX-9 arrived in the middle of 2016. Completely redesigned, it is stunning. That enormous grille and broad nose, those don't mess with me headlights, the supercar style intakes, which aren't actually intakes. Side on, it looks enormous. More than 5 meters long, yet still sleek and with a bottom that looks, frankly, beautiful.
So what makes it a Touring? Glad you asked. Well, those tiny little LED fog lights down there, the automatic headlights, they make it a Touring as well, and the automatic windscreen wipers. Now the one thing that the Touring spec doesn't have that I really wish it did was proximity unlocking. Okay, so what makes it a Touring in the cabin? That screen. It's an 8-inch screen. In the spec below this one, they get a 7-inch screen. Also these seats, they're leather seats and they're lovely, and they're also power adjustable.
So it also gets everything in the sports spec too, and that includes 18-inch alloy wheels, LED headlights, 3-zone climate control, sat-nav, blind spot warning, push-button start, parking sensors, rear cross traffic, reversing camera, and smart city brake.
There is such a high quality feel to the cabin of this car. From the stitching on the steering wheel, to the dashboard, the doors, it really feels like it's been put together so well. There's something I want to show you in the back too. Come on. It's this. No, not the fold down armrest, but that's good too. You get cup holders there, but not that. These. Now the Touring gets this fold down armrest and it gets these USB ports too. So it's great for the kids to plug in their devices. Okay, so while I've got you back here, it's not always going to be kids who are going to be sitting in the second row. It's going to be giant people like me as well. This seat is in my driving position and there's gallons of room for my crazy long legs.
Oh, look at the tall man getting into the third row. Actually, it's been a long time between 7-seat SUVs that I've been able to sit back here that easily. It's so roomy. I'm 191 centimeters long and can sit back here perfectly well. There's 2 cup holders on each side too, and bottle holders in all the doors as well. Now with those seats up, it doesn't give you a heap of boot space, and getting our Cars Guide pram in proved tricky. But fold down the rear seats and there's gallons of room for the pram. So, the getting kids in and out test. Now these doors are massive and they open wide, and that's great for access, especially to the third row. But this coupe style roofline does get in the way a bit if you're putting little ones in or taking them out. But if you want to look good, sometimes form wins over function. The Boomgate ticket test. Even with arms like an actual Boomgate, it can be difficult to reach the ticket machine from any car. But the CX-9's ride height puts you right on the same level. Now the car park test. We took the CX-9 to a car park that's so poorly designed, it frankly should be banned from practicing as a car park and struck off the register. We can't lie. Navigating up and down its narrow ramps gave away the HMAS CX-9 size. It's definitely not an MX-5.
Okay, so what's it like to drive? Well, I'd like to get a couple of engineers from Mercedes-Benz and get them to sit here and have a steer. I'd love to see their faces because the ride in this car is unbelievable. The steering is also so light and direct, and there's plenty of grunt as well.
The previous generation CX-9's big thirsty V6 has been swapped for a turbo petrol 4-cylinder, which has even more torque, and that's good for towing, carrying loads and getting up hills.
And it doesn't feel as big as it looks when you're sitting behind the helm here. Okay, so things I'm not a major fan of. Not a major fan of the Accelerator. Now, the pedal position is great for the brake and the accelerator, but the accelerator is so light that even if I just rest my foot on it, it wants to accelerate. I'm kind of lazy. I want a place to put my foot, and if I want to go faster, I'll press it. Another tiny little issue I have with the new CX-9 is these A-pillars, the pillars that are either side of the windscreen. They're a bit thick, and where I like to sit, they're kind of in the way. I feel like I'm having to look around a little bit. The visibility out the back is not brilliant either. That rear window's quite small, but the reversing camera is excellent. Okay, so this is the all-wheel drive version of the CX-9, and what you should know is that all-wheel drive costs $4,000 more than two-wheel drive. So, do you need all-wheel drive? Well, all-wheel drive is good for dirt, it's good for gravel, it's great on the road for safety, but $4,000, it's not vital. I'd spend the money on a holiday for you and the kids. Oh my God, the Mazda CX-9 has completely reset the benchmark for suburban personnel carriers. Those looks, that ride, the space, the practicality, and in the touring spec, it's in that zone where you're getting such great value for money. To read our full review, click on this little guy right here. Oh, and subscribe. That way you can stay on top of all our latest videos.